It's Hamish here from Boating Europe. Now we're coming from Toulouse, Romania. It's on the Danube Delta. We're traveling by boat for 3 years to get here from London. The boat was in storage near Constanza over the winter, and we got a heroic crane crew to lift her up and put her back in the water. But then when she went back in the water, she had a leak. And actually, when we started the engine, it sounded terrible. So we had a lot of stress about that. There's a few videos on it on our Patreon, for Patreons only, if you want to check them out. It turns out the leak wasn't serious. It was the propeller shaft. The seals had shrunken and come out of place in the winter, the freezing winter, with the boat out of the water. They dried out, basically. So after we run the propeller shaft for a little bit, the leak slowed down and then stopped. So that was a relief. So we had booked the lock. It cost us about €100 to get back to the lock. It's the one on the canal from the Danube to Constanza. It was dug by slaves in the Soviet era. So we got out, and then we were pretty tired, so we decided to anchor. We came to a spot with some nice islands. We tried on one side, and it was 8 meters. So we thought we'd give it a go. We got 30 meters of rope and chain. We dropped the anchor, and then we pulled the boat backwards, and the anchor would bounce, boom, boom, boom. So we've learned that our boat doesn't anchor happily in 8 meters because actually the angle of the rope and the anchor is too steep. So if we want to anchor in deeper waters, we've got to add more rope, which we have another 30 meters, so we can do that. But we pulled the anchor up, went over to the other side of the river where it was about 3 meters, dropped the anchor and spent a lovely night. Let's have a look. Yep. Second night, we moored on a semi-abandoned hotel boat in a town full of gypsies. Hassover, I think. Hassover? Yeah, I'm terrible at pronouncing things. It was nice enough. We spent a nice night. The guy said he was kind of a drunken fisherman in this abandoned hotel. He said, €5, you can stay, and gave us a bottle of wine. And in the morning, he said, another €5. So we gave him €5 and buggered off. So that was okay. We arrived at Galati, where we had a London boater connection, which was really nice. We moored up on where they found us some mooring. They sorted out some electricians to come look at our electrical issues. They sorted out a marine engineer to come look at our engine. So we got lots of stuff fixed, and we relaxed there a bit. But the river was starting to rise, so we decided to move on. We got to then we had to make a decision. The original plan was to go to the Ukrainian side of the delta, but we changed our mind and said, let's go to the Romanian side and check out the Romanian side of the delta. It's supposed to be beautiful. So we were going to go down to a Romanian town and then cut across back to the Ukrainian side. So we turned, backwards. We decided to drop anchor before the turning because we were running late and we were going to get to this town. We didn't have anywhere to moor. So we dropped the anchor behind a beautiful island. Very, very nice. The police came to visit us and said, hey, what are you doing here? And seemed very, very, very confused why an English boat would be mooring behind this island. And a couple of big boats turned up and moored too. As the sun went down, beautiful sunset, suddenly our mosquito nets were blackened. There was about 20 mosquitoes on every entrance trying to get in. A few of them sneaked in the night. So we have to improve our mosquito defences. This was on the edge of the delta, so the delta itself is full of mosquitoes. Morning, pulled up the anchor and turned. We came down to Tuzla, which has a big commercial port, lots of tourism, basically. So we turned down there. It was the water was rising, the current, it was accelerating. We turned down there. We come to the town. It's full of tourist boats stopping, so we cruise along, whirlpools, trees floating past, lots of rubbish, dodging those and waving at people, trying to find if we can find a nice place to moor, but no luck. I think they're all working boats, they're all taking tourists out. So we move through town, we get to, there's a yacht club at the end, we end up there, and they haven't got any room, so they moor us in between 2 abandoned ferries, which worked out okay. It's semi-abandoned yacht, half converted, half renovated yacht club. So tomorrow we talked to the local police here, the navigation police, and they're super friendly. They told us that we needed a special permit to go on the inland waterways of the Delta. So our original plan of cutting across wouldn't work anyway. But actually, we discovered it wouldn't work because the river was so fast we couldn't have come back to the Ukrainian town where we had to book into. It was the only town you can book into on the Ukrainian side. So we abandoned the plan of cutting through the Delta and then back and booking in and then going down and out on the Ukrainian side of the Delta, which is a shame because it's supposed to be interesting and beautiful. Now we're going to go straight down to Salina and more up there because in 2 days a big flood is coming down. It's coming down from Germany and Switzerland and just everywhere. Basically, water is coming down. The levels are rising. So there's a free mooring and it's supposed to be safe. It's down by the sea, so the levels are much less variable when you get as close as you get to the sea. It's supposed to be quite bouncy because it's actually on a wall, and then all the big boats come by and you get bounced by the wakes. But it's a free mooring. What can you do? It's close to the beach. So we're going to head down there, more up there, maybe take the tent and go and camp on the beach for a few days, go swimming in the sea. Sounds nice. I think we're going to take some trips out into the Delta as well. I'm going to see the pelicans and all the wonderful bird life. Heading to weather window. So after Salina, after we might go out to the sea more in a few bays, just get used to the sea. Then we have a 30-hour crossing to Odessa. We're still looking for crew for that. We're going to go in about 10 days, I think. So if you're interested in being on a small boat on a 30-hour non-stop dash along the coast of the Black Sea to Odessa and then onto the Dnieper River, you're very welcome. Send us a message at Boating Europe. We're looking for engineers or sailors, one or the other. Maybe cooks, but no, really engineers or sailors. So that's kind of an update of where we are. Now, we don't have any comments, sadly. Okay, I think we have to work on our outreach a bit. So that's kind of the end of the video, unless anyone wants to comment. Any questions? No. Okay. All right. Thanks for your time. Check us out. We've got a new YouTube channel, Boating Europe, so do subscribe there. We have the usual Instagram, Facebook. We have all the usual .coms. We also have an account on Mastodon, on ActivityPub, so you can subscribe to there. Also, when we have a website, boatingeurope.openworlds.info. So please do go and subscribe to all those. You can find out about our travels. Thank you very much. Hamish out.